On the bonus, we haven't really worked any problems like this, but they're pretty easy to catch on. You have to solve the problem using a system of equations, and you have to show your work. So make sure that you're setting up two equations that both have an x and a y in them. And so in your problems, you're going to have two unknowns. You're going to have something that you're going to set x equal to, and something that you're going to let y represent. So in this problem, it says Jax and Kate are selling wrapping paper for the school fundraiser. Customers have a choice of plain paper or holiday paper. So those are the two things that are talked about in this specific problem, plain paper or holiday paper. So you can let your x equal one of those things and your y equal the other. It doesn't matter which one you let to equal which one. Okay, so now you're ready to set up your two different equations using your x for plain paper and y for holiday paper. It says that Jax collected $193 and he sold 9 rolls of plain wrapping paper and 8 rolls of holiday paper. So however much it costs for plain wrapping paper, you're going to have to multiply that by 9. So you know how much money Jax brought in for those 9 rolls of paper. However much it costs for holiday paper, you're going to have to multiply that by 8, because that's how much money he's bringing in for that type of paper. And the total he brought in is $193. So this is how you would set up that first equation. 9x means 9 rolls of plain paper, plus 8y means 8 rolls of holiday paper. And together, all that money has to equal $193. So that's my first equation, and the next sentence will give me my second one. It says Kate's Aunt Cindy bought 3 rolls of plain paper. Remember, x is plain paper, so 3 rolls of plain paper is 3x. And 7 rolls of holiday paper. Y is holiday paper, so that's 7y, since she bought 7 rolls of holiday paper. All together, that money equals what she collected, which is $125. Now our job is to find the price for each type of wrapping paper. So how much is 1 roll of plain paper, how much is 1 roll of holiday paper. So by solving for x and y, that's what we're finding out. So again, this in bold won't be on your test. You'll have to come up with that on your own. But this is a system of equations just like all the other ones. You get to determine which method you're going to use. Now obviously you're not going to use graphing because you don't have a grid, and plus this would be pretty large numbers. We wouldn't have a grid that goes up that high. You probably don't want to use substitution because none of these are super easy to isolate since they all have numbers in front. So I would really encourage you to think about using elimination for this bonus problem. So if I look at the x's, this one's a positive 9x. I would need this one to be a negative 9x for those to cancel. Well, it's really easy for me to get that 3 to become a negative 9. All I have to do is multiply by negative 3. So I'm going to multiply every number in the second equation by negative 3. So my first one I'm keeping as 9x plus 8y equals 193. My second one, I'm multiplying all 3 terms by negative 3. So negative 3 times 3x is negative 9x. Negative 3 times positive 7y is negative 21y. And negative 3 times 125 is negative 375. So now I'm ready to add those equations together. 9x plus negative 9x means I don't have any x's. Positive 8y plus negative 21y is a negative 13y. Make sure you check that in your calculator. You can either put it in as 8 minus 21 or 8 plus negative 21. That's exactly the same thing. And on the right side, 193 plus negative 375 is negative 182. So now I can get y solved for by undoing multiplication, dividing both sides by negative 13. So we get y equals a negative divided by a negative is positive, and 182 divided by 13 is 14. So y being 14 tells me, since y is the holiday paper, that the holiday paper costs $14 per roll. Now I need to find out how much the plain paper is by solving for x. So remember, you can go to either one of your equations. The second one has a little bit smaller of numbers, so I think I'll use it this time. So the equation was 3x plus 7y equals 125, but I know what y is, so I'm going to put 14 in for y. So now I can solve for x. Multiplying 7 times 14 is 98. Undoing the addition by subtracting 98 from both sides gives me 3x equals 27. Undo multiplication using division gives me x equals 9. Since x is the plain paper, I know that plain paper costs $9 per roll. Again, I can check that in the scenario that I was given. Is 9 times the number, that's plain paper, so that'd be 9 times 9, plus 8 rolls of holiday would be 8 times the cost per holiday is 14. Does that give me 193? Well, you can do that math. 9 times 9 is 81. 8 times 14 is 112, and 112 and 81 gives me 193. I can do the same thing in the second equation. I have 3 plain papers, so 3 times 9 plus 7 holiday, 7 times 14 is at $125. Well, 3 times 9 is 27, 7 times 14 is 98, and 27 plus 98 is equal to 125. So it works in both equations.